So it was a little bit of a bucket of cold water when they thought they were going to need 9 grand to buy their house. And it turned out to be closer to, 24.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was we had to do a gift, but it was there and they weren't overly shocked because the agent actually did a good job explaining it. And we were kind of, I guess, inkling at that the whole way. And then it finally happened because that was the house I wanted. So not the end of the world. They were able to make it happen, but yeah, it's a pretty big pill to swallow. 23.5 versus 9 is a pretty big difference. So
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
you guys
Interesting.
run into that yet? Run into anything where someone's had to pay that out of pocket yet? Heard of it
Mm-mm.
happening?
Mm-mm. Not
Okay.
yet.
Partial out of pocket, not full,
Not the full three or whatever.
not the full fee for the agent.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, no, it's part of it, I guess. We
I
all
think
know.
it's going to be more commonplace. I mean, it is what it is. Like, we'll rehab this conversation in 90 days or 6 months from now. And it'll be interesting to see what's become the new normal, right? With this, that hopefully that just buyers are just more prepared, right? I mean, it just becomes, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a disruption, but I think you definitely have to have a buyer that's prepared, for all
Correct.
situations.
Mhm.
So
I do have one question for you guys. I know you said you only 2 minutes, but I have one question. Do you guys, as agent, do you guys expect your loan officer to tell you who the appraiser is?
no.
Not anymore.
Right? Because
Back
that
in the
would
old
be
days.
illegal, right?
Yeah.
If you guys want to know who the appraiser is, you contact the listing agent if it's been scheduled because they know now who it is, and then you can reach out, right? Okay, cool. I got
I
a
still
nasty.
don't think we were able to reach out.
Yeah, I think once it's been completed, not turned in, but completed, you're allowed to reach out and help with comps or if they have questions, but
Correct.
no appraisers reaching out to you for questions. Let's be honest.
Well, they do. Like I get
Sometimes,
Oh,
right,
called,
they
I
reach
get
out
sometimes,
called
for
all the
questions.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. But are they reaching out to the listing agent or the buyer's agent?
They're reaching out to the listing agent.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Or in general, I live in a community that it's very hard to do comparables sometimes. I mean, they're kind of all over the board. So I get called all the time on deals that aren't even mine. Like, hey, Kelly, I'm doing an appraisal. You've sold a handful of houses out here.
Really?
So I do get called quite a bit.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. I got kind of a nasty text saying that I should have that information ready at hand from an EXP agent. I was like, yeah, I don't think I feel comfortable tracking that down. So I'll let you
Yeah.
just kind of,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
no worries. All right. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Hopefully, after this
Next week.
week,
Big
yeah,
week.
we'll have some more good news. That would be wonderful. But it is a nice little reprieve for sure that the rates are down a little bit and people are breathing a little bit easier. Hopefully that's helping some activity here this fall. We have noticed a little bit of a slowdown, probably just because school just started and hopefully things will get, we'll get a little bit more activity as we proceed into fall here. So, all right. Well, today we are going to talk about client events. So, whether you're an agent, whether you're a mortgage loan officer, whether you're an appraiser, whatever, right? We all have clients. And what are you doing to show your clients appreciation? And I know, Bob, we picked this topic because you said you've got something coming up. I think it's at the end of the month, if I
Correct. Yeah.
recall. Okay.
Mhm.
So maybe you can share with us like some of the things that your team, you've got a pretty significant size team. What do you guys do throughout the year and what's the event coming up to show appreciation for your clients?
Yeah. I mean, I have a whole outline that we can share today. I was trying to
Awesome.
figure out
And
how
let
we
me
might be able to spend an hour on this, but let's just kick it off by what we have going on at the Snyder team. So
let me
uh,
give you sharing things here so that if you
perfect.
want to
Yeah,
share your
I'll
screen.
load it up here in a little bit. And I can kind of show, actually what I'll do is I'll show you our invitation that just went out a couple days ago.
Okay, you should be able to share now.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see our little invitation we sent out electronically?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So what we have coming up So pre-COVID, we did this annually. And then COVID kind of put a little damper on things, as we all know. It changed a lot of things. And then now we are back at it. So we do a dinner cruise on the St. Croix River. It's a 3-hour tour, which is pretty neat because we essentially get our clients captive for 3 hours, which is good. You just hope the weather cooperates, but usually around this time of the year, and the reason why we chose this time of the year is because summer's over, we're transitioning into fall. The river at this time is absolutely beautiful, and usually, knock on wood, there's not a lot of rain in the forecast this time of year. So we set up this dinner cruise. So what do we do? So what we do, and we're in the heat of the moment right now because we actually have to give a total count to the cruise company here in the next couple days, and Asha, my wing woman here, is on the call as well. But what we do is, we send out an electronic invite, and then we also send out a personalized invite via mail that's decked out a little bit, so it looks to be a little bit more important. So people will open it up, and then we use, as you can see down below, you can see the event create link that we have, so they can go in and RSVP that way. But we also do it pretty old school as well, which is going through our database and actually reaching out, whether it be a phone call or a text, and then sending a personal invite. So that's what we've been doing the last couple days. So between our team, Asha's been helping out as well. We are going through and basically just personally inviting people as well. So there's a little bit of work that needs to be done. But what's great about this process is that you're generating a lot of conversations now with your past clients, even if they can't come. So I'll just give you a quick little example. So I went through and reached out to about 35 of my past clients yesterday. I had a couple-hour break from some of the daily grind I had to get through. And of that 35 conversation, I have now 3 listing opportunities within the next year. So it goes to show you, just doing that piece and connecting in with your database, that's it, as far as time well spent, that's a great way to work that process out. So whether you have 10 or whether you have 10,000 people in your database, really super cool way to do it. So we're looking forward to
the invite, Bob, to this. Like, how many people are you inviting? Is this just all past clients get this invite, or do you like select it down because so many can fit on the boat?
Yeah. So what we do is we kind of have an A list, right? So our A list is the people that are regular referrers to our company, as well as we have really good relationships with them. So, if you were to break it up, you got your A clients, you got your B clients, you got your C clients, right? So the A's definitely are top of the list. The B's are making lists. The C's, we kind of decipher if we want to send the invite out or not. Asha, how many invites do we send out, Asha, total? Do you remember?
It was like 340 or something, like really close to that.
Yeah. So we did have to scale it down a bit because we didn't
Because I
want.
think 200 or 250 was the max we can do on the boat. I
Yeah.
want to say we estimated at 200 on the boat. So
Yeah. And the one thing about that is it creates a little bit of sense of exclusivity as well. So like, hey, let's go ahead and get invited. Although, some human nature, they don't respond right away. So that's why you're doing those reach outs. So I think right now we're a little over 100, and our goal as far as RSVPs, we sent this out. We've been working this the last couple of weeks, and now usually what happens in the next week or two, we'll end up getting the additional 100, 125, whatever it means, by actually going out and touching base with them.
Yeah. One thing I want to just chime in at, no matter what, you guys, if you're planning your events, whether it's like the dinner cruise that Bob's doing, or, whatever, the picnic in the park or whatever, don't worry about, the fact that you're inviting 300 people and the boat only holds 250, right? Like, you know, not everybody's going to be able to make it. That's not the point. The point is the fact that you've invited them and you've made them feel special and that you've included them. Whether or not they choose to participate in the events that you're doing, you know, that's up to them. But I think it's still a touch, right? It's still a way that you're showing them that we're thinking about you, you're special to us. So don't worry about that. You know, go with your A-list, like you said, because your participation really is going to be a lot smaller than you think, no matter how hard you try. So just remember that it's up to them to
No,
take advantage of it.
right. And even, I mean, there were multiple that I followed up with that couldn't make it just because of life, you know, other things going on, but were like super appreciative and appreciated being followed up with too.
Yeah.
So they thought, you know, multiple said, it's really awesome you guys are doing this, you know, we wish we could make it. So like you said, just to have that invite does go a long way.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
sometimes just planning events, I know like when Bruce and I sit down and we go, you know, okay, this is what we're doing for our events this year. But like, are there things we could do that are like smaller, fill in the gap things? And one of them, a perfect example of like being afraid of like, what if 1,000 people show up? Well, that's never going to happen, right? Is we have a crumble cookie right here in town. And so on National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, right, we went down to Crumble and we did a video saying, hey guys, come on down to Crumble, get a cookie on us. You know, we'll be here from 11 to 12 today. You know, and we sat there going, okay, well, great. Whatever, like I said, what if 1,000 people show up? Because we just threw it out on Facebook. It wasn't even necessarily client appreciation. But I mean, we had 5 people show up because, you know, it's a small window. Not everybody can make it that day. But the fact that you are offering it and people are seeing that, you know, it's just a way to be in front of them and to thank them, right? So don't be afraid of how many people will show up.
Absolutely.
So tell us, you know, when you get them on the dinner cruise, what do you guys do? Because like you said, you've got this captive audience. How do you make the most of having the appreciation event?
That's great. So for those of us in the room who've been married before or have been the highlight of a graduation party, basically that's what it's like. So you're moving from group to group to group, just letting them know it's great to see them, having some, you know, small chit chat, checking in with the kids, that sort of thing. So 3 hours seems like a lot, but before you know it, that boat's docking and you are hoping that you got to everybody. The other thing that we do is we sit at the entry line when people are coming in. So we get an opportunity pretty much to greet everybody at that point in time. And then as people are leaving, we're also at the exit line. So that's really kind of the key piece because there's a lot of distractions too going on the boat. There's little clicks on the boat. There's all that sort of thing going on. So, and we have a band as well that's playing, you know, usually it's just kind of a acoustic 1-person show, you know, on the bow singing and dancing and that sort of thing. And so it's, you know, so hopefully that answers your question, but yeah, we're just kind of hobnobbing along with the clients. It's like being, like I said, getting married or being a graduate where you're thanking people for coming.
I think another good point to that is think about this, you guys. They're in this situation, they're on a boat, right? There's nowhere else they're going. They're here. And they some of them might know each other, some of them might not know each other. But what's really cool is when they're sitting down, they're introducing themselves. And what do you think they're saying? Well, how do you know Bob? Or how do you know Asha? Or whatever. And they're sharing their experiences and stories. And they're talking about you, like, which is really cool, right? And so I just really, I love this idea that you've got this like captive audience, you know, I don't want to say trapped, but they're trapped for 3 hours, right? And it's all about really enjoying their experience that they had with you and your team. I love that.
Yeah, and we have a lot of, I would say, introverts as clients as well. We have a lot of engineers and that sort of type client, which is great for them too. So for them, it's almost like they're on a date, you know, where they bring their significant other and they're just enjoying the atmosphere. They may not talk to anybody else. They may or they may not. So this cruise setup has worked really well because it just allows all the different types of personalities to enjoy,
Yep,
you know.
exactly. And, when we're talking client events, you guys, you don't have to go as big as a dinner cruise like Bob's team does, right? If you haven't done client appreciation events and you're thinking you want to start small. It doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to be anything costly either. I know when Bruce and I started, I think one of our first events was we just did a picnic. We have a local park that's really nice here. And we did, a pumpkin picnic in the park. And our assistant owned a farm. And so she brought in a truckload of pumpkins. And if you came, you got a pumpkin to take home. And we did it in, September or end of September, beginning of October. So it was right going into Halloween. And I made pulled pork and brought in, our cooker or our roasters and filled that up. So, I mean, it was very inexpensive and we maybe had 30 to 50 people there. They could bring their kids. They have like a little mini zoo there. So we didn't have to provide the entertainment. The zoo is already there. So think about things like that. If you're really on a budget, what can you do that would have a pretty nice impact that doesn't cost you a lot of money, right? And then obviously as your business grows and you're a little bit more successful, you can look to do things like the dinner cruise or, we did, another one we did was just, we rented a movie theater for a Saturday afternoon, right? Invited everybody for a family movie. Like those will cost a little bit more money. It's not ridiculous, but you can ease your way into those types of things too.
Yeah. Yep. We worked our way up to this. We did like a tailgate party with the Viking Packer game, and we did, not come sit on Santa Claus's lap, sounds creepy, but come visit Santa Claus for the day and get family pictures. We've done that. That works really, really well.
Mhm.
We've done pies for Thanksgiving. And even at the individual level, we like to recognize people on their closing date as their house anniversary. So we send out a cookie with a card, and then the agent sends out a personalized video to the client just saying, hey, I don't know if you know this, but it's been 11 years since you lived in your house. Wow, I can't believe it. Blah, blah, blah. I hope you're doing great. You don't mention anything else about anything besides just congratulating them on their 11 years or whatever that timestamp is for their closing. So that's some of the more monthly or daily activities that we do for client appreciation. And the dinner cruise just kind of sums it all up. But we're old school. We've been in the real estate business, my business partner Jennifer and I, for over almost 25 years. She's been in for 27. I've been in for 24. So we grew up with a by referral only mentality, which back in the old days, that was Joe Stump Steel. You did client appreciation stuff. So we've always held on to this, just because it's a great tool to connect in with your clients. And if you think about it, our business can be very transactional. And unlike, for instance, an insurance person or a dentist, very rarely do people leave their insurance company, their dentist, or their doctor. But very often they do leave their real estate agent if they're not staying in touch with them. I mean, I forget what the stat is, but I think it's over 60% of people don't remember who served them when they bought their house.
Mhm.
So, and that's a total product of not staying in touch with your clients,
For sure.
so this is a really great way to generate business as well, very inexpensively. So this boat cruise costs us roughly $13,000 to $15,000 to do, but it pays for itself in spades going through the process of inviting people. It creates loyalty, and it's well worth the ROI on this. Is one of the best ROIs that we have within our company as far as attracting business.
I love that. And
Plus
that's
you've got context. I mean, you're just building content right? For for moving forward after the event, right? Because the only people right now that know about the event are the people that are going to be invited.
Yeah,
And so if you have a videographer or a photographer, or I mean, you could carry this thing on for a long time afterwards, and it could be evergreen for a long time, where you could get a lot of mileage off of. Here's what we do for our clients. We just don't help them buy, sell, or invest,
yeah,
right? You become part of the family, and this is what the family gets, right? This is like a family Christmas, right? You're invited to our boat cruise or whatever, and this isn't the only thing that we do. So, I would say, whether you, like Kelly said, whether you start small and do a pumpkin giveaway, or you give away the cookies for an hour, always make sure that you've got some way to immortalize that, whether it be by video or photos or whatever, that you can share with everybody, right? Don't just limit who you're sharing it with. Just say, hey, we did this for our clients, and or we had this pop up, or whatever. And I think you'll get a lot of mileage off of that.
yeah. Good point, Bruce. Definitely.
I wanted to touch on what you said too, Bob, about the ROI, right? We always, in business, if you're a good business person, you never do anything without thinking about the ROI, right? When we spend money. This is one of those, I think, catch 22s. Like, you need sometimes to just spend money, just to show appreciation. However, Bob and his team aren't going to spend $13,000 to $15,000 every year if they're not seeing some kind of return either, right? I can like go give, spend $100 giving cookies away for an hour, and if I don't get anything, I'm not going to lose any sleep at night. If I'm spending $15,000 a couple times a year on events, I'm going to want to make sure that I'm getting some kind of return, right? So, couple things on that, you guys. If you're thinking about your events, really think about what the cost is for that event. And really, if you got one deal, would it cover it? If you got two deals, would it really cover your expense, right? And then when you think about that, what do you need to cover that expense? Really think about who you're inviting. Okay. So what I mean by that is, I know we're talking client appreciation, we're talking clients, but there are different levels of clients. Like Bob said, this is who, their A clients are who are getting invited to this. And when you talk about A clients, those are, your A or your A plus or whatever, those are going to be the people who love you, trust you. If they're ever in a conversation and they hear someone talking real estate, they're going to be like, I got a great agent. If you need an agent, I got Bob. He's been my agent. He's awesome, right? They're going to be the person that recommends you no matter what, or standing on the corner with a sandwich board about the Snyder team, right? So they're your biggest raving fans. That is going to be a really high ROI. So if you've got more of an expensive event that you really want to make it feel special, I say you look at your A clients for sure to be part of that list, if not the only people on that list, right? Depending on how big your database is, because they will be the ones that will make sure your ROI is good, right?
Yeah. And
Bruce,
there's ways to offset the cost as well through marketing service agreements with like your lenders and your title people. You have to make sure you're doing it the correct way, but it's also a great opportunity for them to connect in with the client as well, because we're pretty, we do have, I have a team of 12 agents. So on our team, agents can pretty much use who they want to use for mortgage and title, unless it's a lead that's generated by the team. Then we require them to use the mortgage or title person that is assigned to helping contribute to pay for those leads. But what I mean is like, for instance, we're going to have our closer there from All American Title, and we're going to have and you can have inspectors. We've had inspectors there. We've had obviously mortgage people there. They get a chance to kind of put a name to a face with some of these people as well. So for them, they get to leverage that opportunity with their past client as well. So they are willing to help contribute to some of the costs associated with this, you know,
Yeah.
so
Agreed.
you always want to kind of check, make sure you're doing it the right way. But it can be done to help offset the cost.
For sure. And I know like Eric, you're on here this morning. You know, we just had a little coffee meeting with Eric and his team. And bottom line, you know, there are good partners in your community that are willing to collaborate with you, right? But you know, again, it's got to be someone that you are giving back. If you're expecting them to be a part of it, you've got to make sure that you're taking care of them as well. Otherwise, you know, that's going to be a one and done or maybe a two and done, right? So you know, you have to help build each other. And if you have your people that you know you use all the time, definitely reach out and ask, right? So I always have said, if you have used a lender for years and you're continuously giving that person business and business and business, it's not very often that lenders run into an opportunity to give back, right? A lot of people are coming to them to get pre-approved, or they already have a real estate agent or something like that. So it's hard to give some of those back. So this might be an opportunity for them to give back and kind of help you out in a way, right? So,
Put down.
oops.
Sure.
So yeah, so I think it's just, you know, don't be afraid to ask, you know, they can always say no, but I think collaborations are great. Like Bob said. So anybody else on here doing some fun, different things for client appreciation events before we get into maybe the more marketing and how you get the word out?
So we've got, just to chime in here, we've got a really good friend, and I know that Joe Seamus is on here too, friend of Joe's as well. Guy that lives out near Augusta, Georgia, and he has taken his area code. So they happen to be, their area code happens to be 803, and they do an 803 day for their client appreciation party. And they do it obviously once a year on August 3rd. And they have, obviously this has been going on for many, many years. They have built it up. They have it at a vineyard, and they have food trucks, free food, free drink, you know, obviously wine. They have bounce houses. They give away swag bags. They have an interview / testimonial / stage area where they've got props that you can get photographed with or give a testimonial. So it's all in what you want to, I think, wrap your arms around. And for them, it happens to be their area code. And I thought that was kind of a unique little idea as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we do what's kind of fun, again, making it unique to you. Bruce and I think we're on year 6 now. We do Cinco de Mayo instead of Cinco de Mayo, you know, so we use our last name and Cinco de Mayo, and we have a big Mexican margarita. Like we just go to a restaurant, we let them cater it in, and we invite everybody. So we don't have to do anything other than maybe decorate the place that we're doing, but you know, have margaritas and Mexican food. And it's, you know, we do it maybe for hour and a half to 2 hours. It's like an open house. Come during that time and join us for some Mexican, and it's fun and people love it, right? They're like laugh because of the name thing. So try to be creative too, so something will stand out versus getting lumped in with all the other things that people are doing, right? Something different that's maybe not on a typical day. Like nothing wrong with the pie giveaway, but we have we have 100 agents down here that give away pies on Thanksgiving or around the same time, right? So if I were to do that, I know they're my clients, not someone else's clients, but it might not be something that will stand out as much as maybe the Cinco de Mayo, right? So think about doing something that's going to have a little bit more of an impact from separating you from the pack, so to speak.
But I think here's my take on that pie giveaway, right? We've been talking about a lot of stuff like the boat ride and maybe the Cinco de Mayo and the 803 day, that you would definitely invite your A clients, potentially your B clients, and maybe a smitten of C clients. Well, for like the pie giveaway, you'd invite everybody, right? You can go to Costco and you can get a $4.50 pie. That's a great large pie. So for $4.50, if you got a deal, would you spend that? And would you invite everybody under the sun? Absolutely it would. So, I mean, I think even those small things, and like Kelly said, you're inviting your clients, and chances are somebody else is not inviting your clients. So I think it's still a big deal if they get something like that. I don't really think I would look at it as being hokey and everybody else is doing it, because nobody else is doing it to your clients. Probably.
Hopefully not.
Right. Then you have bigger problems. Okay, any other creative ideas anybody's done in the past?
One of the things, if you don't mind me jumping in here,
Yeah, please do.
is, you know, a lot of these things that we do you know, if you're just getting into them, you know, the first one may never be a massive success, you know, and that's one thing is to, you know, stick with the consistency of doing it. The other part is if you are just really starting to build up that portion of it, maybe you don't have to put on your own client appreciation. One thing to consider, and one thing that we're doing, is we're going to go to like a pumpkin patch, and we're just going to thank the community for doing business within the community. And we're just going to offer face painting or something, but you know, they've already put on the, you know, like the pumpkin patch. People are going to be coming this fall, right? So you're going to be getting in front of people. Thank them for coming out and supporting the local pumpkin patch. Thank them for being there. You know, it's kind of a marketing scheme, but it's also, you know, it's an appreciation. We promote, and I know that males for surely are big on this, is, you know, be local, buy local, shop local, you know, and that's huge. I think we all are that. So it's just another option to get your face out there and say thank you to people as an appreciation event.
I love that. I love that idea. You bet. Whenever you can give back to the community, you know, that should be a pillar of your business anyway. But anytime that you can do that and do the twofer, right? I'm thanking my clients, thanking the community. I love that idea. Perfect. And you guys at Fairway, you do a lot of, I mean, you guys are so involved. You're everywhere. So I love that. Always doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody else have some cool ideas?
One thing that we were going to do last year, but our office wasn't quite ready for it. But now that we got our new parking lot, which is we're super excited about, because our old parking lot was in pretty rough shape, is having a blood drive. Because right now in this country, we're extremely low on blood. So that was one thing that we had talked about doing last year. We're probably going to work on getting that done for sometime this spring. That will probably be our next appreciation event. And then with that, we'll have, you know, we would have the blood drive van there, but we would also have afterwards like a food truck there, and we kind of create an open house where they can come into the office and have snacks that are there, plus the food truck would be there. So, you know, we might have the food truck there for 2-3 hours, whatever it might be, so they can pop in and you know, give blood if they're able to, and then, you know, have a piece of pizza or whatever it is, right? So that's kind of what we're thinking, possibly for the probably May timeframe. Which is kind of a, you know, before the kids start coming back from school, and it's a quick little pop in, you know, it's a little 2 to 3 hour deal. I talked to an agent out of California who was doing that, and they had a lot of success. So that's
Awesome.
probably the next one we're looking at doing. And that's, to Eric's point, that's kind of a community driven piece where we would probably involve the city of Lake Elmo, where our office is, and maybe do some collaborative marketing along the way of not only making this a Snyder team thing, but maybe making it a Lake Elmo Inn thing, maybe making it a boutique, maybe the local salon or whatever it might be, to kind of drive everybody there. Then we could cost share it as well.
I love that. The other thing too, with your parking lot, and we did this when we were with Keller Williams in their parking lot, is it was fall. It wasn't cold out, but it was crisp, right? But we just did where we grilled out hot dogs. You could stop on in for lunch. So we had hot cocoa, you know, we had hot dogs, chips, cookies, whatever. Stop on in and grab lunch on us, but bring a food, you know, non-perishable food item that we can donate to the food shelf. So all of our clients, they stopped in, they grabbed a small lunch, but they brought bags of food. And then that way we just took the truckload of food and dropped it off at Channel One, at our food shelf here. So, anytime you can do an event and tie in some type of community contribution, whatever, volunteering, you can get a group of people and say, hey, client appreciation, we're going to go rake leaves for the elderly, and you get all your clients involved and they feel good now about giving back, because sometimes they get too busy in their life that they don't have an opportunity to do this, right? So we're going to go rake leaves for the elderly this Saturday, and then we'll have lunch afterwards, or, we'll provide you guys with lunch, or have the food truck there at like an ending point or whatever, right? So there's lots of ways you can tie in, let's do something good for the community, and we want to thank you with lunch or a pie or whatever at the end, right? So think about a way that you can give back with your events. Now, Bruce and I wanted to share, this was a really fun one. This was our first year. So Bob, you talked about your A list. I want to go even deeper. We have what we call our VIP list, and it is a small list. It's probably about 20 people if we include their spouses or their significant others. It's like our top 10. And we know that those are the people who have referred us multiple times, have used us multiple times, and they're the ones we want to keep happy, and we want to keep engaged with them regularly. So for the first time, we have a VIP Facebook page. So like they get, invited to our events. They get little special things that maybe our A list, B list, whatever, don't get. But we did a dinner here. We have a restaurant that has like a special room downstairs and its own bar and whatever. Well, they created a 5-course meal for us that you could either do wine pairings or cocktail pairings. So you had to pick if you wanted wine or if you wanted cocktails, and they did a pairing with each course. But it was just, I think out of the 20, we had 16 that were able to make it. And so it was still a small group. It felt intimate. It was really fun. And we went around the table and we had them introduce themselves and share a quick story on how they met us. Like, how do they know us, right? Maybe it wasn't through real estate. Maybe we've been friends for years, but yes, they've done real estate, right? But it was really fun listening to the stories of how they know us and how they met us. And, they tease you. It just was really a very small, intimate thing. So I would tell you, whether you're doing an event or not, keep those top 10, your best of the best, stay engaged with them on at least a monthly, like in front of them type of situation, right? You really want to love on those people and take care of them. So that's just something fun that we did this year, and it was pretty fun and turned out really good. So let's talk about marketing. So Bob, you use Event Create. Some people use Eventbrite. We have not used anything like for official sign up, other than Bruce, you probably just do it through not KV Core, but what do you do?
I just have them RSVP right to me and my email address.
Okay.
It's pretty simple, but we're not talking thousands of
40
people.
people like
so,
they are.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else anybody else use anything else in terms of like getting the word out, registration, any types of apps or programs that we might want to know about?
Eric, how about you guys when you when you put on events or host events through Fairway? Do you guys use any special any special stuff?
Nothing really special. We create the QR codes on any kind of thing to try to get people to sign up, electronically, because it seems to be the way things are going. We're very traditional in the sense of, I think the best things is the hand card, postcard. It's personal. It's what people really like to see in the mail.
Yep.
We've used Eventbrite, and then social media event things. I will tell you, I hate social media event things, but I know they're required just because you get a ton of maybes. But I think like Bob was doing, what you guys do is and Domaille's everybody. I think the postcard's still the best option.
Yep. Or if you are doing something smaller where you can make it feel a little bit special, like our little VIP thing, we did a really nice invite, you know, in an envelope. It felt like very unique where they want to open it, right? So, you know, when you can do that, make it feel special. I agree. I'm not a huge Facebook person, but I guess there's exposure, right? When you do that, more people are seeing that. For sure, you know, you
Yeah.
need to get an invite out in several different fashion or several different venues, right? Socially, in hand, phone call, a personal invite, a video. You know, you guys can make one video, right? You don't have to say, "Hey Bob, you know, looking forward to seeing you, or hope you can make it," right? You can say, "Hey, we wanted to just personally invite you to this. You know, we hope you can make it because you've made such a difference in our business." It can be very generic and you just do it one time. And now you're texting it, right? You can send out a mass text video. You can send out a mass text email, but it feels like you made that video just for them, right? So, you know, we do that for birthdays, for home anniversaries. We make one really cute video for the year, and then, you know, everybody's getting it, right? But they feel like it was made for them. So,
And speaking of that, just to elaborate on how we do that, we use a company called Dubb, D-U-B-B. And so that's where we make our videos and they host them. The cool thing that I like about them is actually two things. Once you make the video, and let's say Bob and Ash, I want to invite you guys and Eric as well. And so I just I go into Gmail and I add the people that I want to send this to. And then through Dubb, I go in and I click a button and it says copy for email. And so then I go back and I paste in the body of the email this video, and the video takes up most of the email, and it's got a little caption line that you create, like our party's coming up quick or whatever it is. And then they see a little 3-second snippet on the video, and that becomes your message, right? And then there's a place that they can click right below the video to either reply by video, or they can reply and say they're coming or they're not coming. Generally what I do is I create a Google form, and I have that link to the Google form on the bottom of the email. So when they click the Google form, it registers them. Our Google form says, "Yes, I'm coming. Wouldn't miss it for the world," and it asks for their names. And so it says either "Yes, I'm coming," or "No, I can't make it, but keep me informed," or "Nope, we can't make it at all." And so what the Google form does is it actually tracks everybody. You can go back in after a week and see how many responses you got, how many people are coming, how many people said no. So that also helps with the numbers as well. So that's just kind of goes along with the marketing that Kelly was talking about.
and I'm sure Event Create or Eventbrite allows you to do a lot of that, you know, like the tracking as well, you know, who's all coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bruce,
I
did you
would
say that was in? Oh,
go ahead,
sorry.
Asha. Go ahead.
I just had a quick follow-up question. Bruce, did you say that was in Gmail? You could do that? You could like embed the video? Was that in Gmail?
Mhm.
Yeah, with
With
Dubb,
this
you
Dubb.
with Dubb you can. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's pretty cool. It's
Okay.
super simple. The you just create the video, and you go in and you click on the video, and then you just add the people to Gmail, and
We
then
used to use BombBomb, which, you know, at the time was really great. And we found Dubb, which is better. And they allow you to, it has like the teleprompter things, you know, all built in. There's like a lot more features with Dubb that BombBomb doesn't have or didn't have when we made the switch. So it's just a better program for us.
plus it's half as expensive, and the support is awesome.
Yeah.
BombBomb support is not good at all.
We did a thing on them. So even if you go back through Empire Masterminds, if you guys are interested, find the Dubb recording and watch it. You know, if you want to learn more about it, but it's a great program.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on what Bruce said earlier. I think this is a great thing for the mileage afterwards. Document your events, you guys, because as now you're marketing for your next year event, or another way to do a follow-up to everybody who came to the event what a cool way to do a video, you know, of all, like, if you had a videographer there documenting the dinner cruise, right? And they're getting people as they're dancing and they're whatever, and they're doing all of this. You can make a snippet, you know, of a short 2-minute video or whatever, or minute video, and send it as a, hey, great seeing you. Thanks for attending. Can't wait till next year, right? And then they'll watch the video and people love that, right? Oh, there I am, or oh, there's Bob, whatever, blah, 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 right? Just as a way to thank them. When we did the pumpkin in the park, we had set up a little, you know, bunch of hay bales and some pumpkins, and we had a professional photographer there, and their whole family could take, you know, family portraits. And then we mailed out the portrait, we printed out 8x10s, and we sent them out to the people. So it wasn't digital. I mean, we could get them the digital, but we sent them an actual printed 8x10 out, and with a thank you for attending, right? So super easy, but a great follow-up touch to just the event. That feels really special, especially if you guys are doing the, like, you know, Santa Claus pictures or whatever. Really cool to even just do a postcard with their, you know, with that on there. Also, what a great way to now market, use that. Now this video, hey, you know, this is what we do for our client appreciation events. When it's on your website, put that video for your client appreciation event, right? Post it on social media. Use that as your invite for the next year. Hey, you guys, this is what happened last year. Hope you can make it this year. It was tons of fun. Because if it's a new client, let's say, and they don't know what to expect, watching the video and seeing hundreds of people at this event kind of feels like, hey, I don't want to miss it. This is pretty cool, right? This is a big event. I want to be there. I think it just helps create hype for your marketing going forward. So don't forget to document the current event to help market after and for the next year's event. Okay.
So one of the things I want to just jump in about documenting that, the other thing we started this year is just for our A clients, we have we did a drop off of just a goodie box, right? So we bought a pallet of boxes that are about, probably, how big are they? 9x12 or something,
Not
and
even.
they're maybe 3 inches deep. So anyway, we filled them up. We had a really cool, like, Scandinavian mug. We had honey sticks. We had tea. We had, I don't even know what else we had,
A
but anyway.
leather notebook. We had a
Yeah.
bunch of kid stuff in there.
Yeah, so we put all this together, and we hand delivered all of these. We let them know that we were coming out and hand delivering them. And yeah, it's not getting people together, but everybody loved these things. We got so much traffic off of filming us, you know, filming Kelly running up to the door, people answering the door, you know, and just being really cool with it. And then the people that we didn't hook up with, we just left them on the front porch and we did a text to them. But we have, with that marketing, we have all of those short little videos of going to people's houses, and we can pick and choose. And like Kelly said, we can put them together, and we can market that quick little 30-second or minute video to our A clients next year to say, hey, we came last year, or we do this twice a year, we're coming again, and here's the date that we're coming.
Well, and even we posted it on social media, and we said it was a day of delivering our VIP clients gift boxes, right? So people are like, VIP clients, like, what do you got to be a VIP client, right? What does that mean? And we did like we just did this thing to music, us dropping off. And at the end, we had a picture of us like pooped out on the couch, right? Like, it was a long day, blah, blah, blah. We had a lot of running around. We covered, you know, X amount of miles, you know, it took us 10 hours, whatever, to deliver them. But, you know, but then we're like, hey, you want to be a VIP? Ask us how, right? Like, so, you know, we can get some mileage off of that. So, you know, think about creative ways to market your events before, during, after. And, you know, again, just think about being creative and doing something different. There's so many things out there that you can just do, that are outside of the box and that don't cost a lot of money. Okay. So take some time, rob and duplicate, look at what other people are doing, you know, Google client appreciation events. There's tons of ideas. I think I did a mastermind on this last year too, where someone gave, I went to EXPCon and I sat in on a class and they gave me like 52 ideas, like, and they just rattled through them and they listed off all these typical events, things that you can do. You can do like, get the kids involved, right? Of your clients. We're having a coloring contest. You can mail them out or send them out a digital picture, have mom and dad print it off, let the kids color it, have them submit it and drop it off. And you post them on your, on your website, pick a winner, pick 3 or 4 winners, right? Those are just easy things that don't cost anything really other than maybe some coloring books, or some pictures. I mean, but just be creative and think about how you can be different and how you can include a lot of people so you get the biggest, bang for your buck. Okay. Any last minute parting ideas, thoughts, Bob? I know you were, wanting to maybe talk more about marketing. Did we miss anything on your events or things that you guys do?
No, I think we're pretty much summed it up. But what I will say is that, they're a lot of work, but it's worth the work. So you can use the greatest invite technology. What we have found is that typically our younger clients will respond to that pretty easily. But there's nothing better than just going through and actually reaching out to them either via text or via phone. Typically text works pretty good because a lot of people don't, just quite frankly, don't answer their phone these days. And even our older clients are texting, as cryptic as it might be. They do respond and they do text. So sometimes you're just going to have to spend a few hours just going through and doing that work. But what it's going to cultivate is really great real estate conversations. So, and it's going to get more people to your events as well. If you plan on just sending a fancy envelope to your A clients and don't do any follow-up on it, you're not going to have as good of an attendance rate at your event as if you send that out, you send out an electronic version of it, and then you actually go through and personally invite them. That's going to be the best way for you to get people to your events, but also it's going to generate those conversations that ultimately could be used or lead to more business.
For sure. For sure.
Bob, I love the text idea because you can just do a regular text, type text. You could do a text video, or you could do a text audio. I mean, if you want to ramp up that game, and the video and audio take no more time than texting, finger texting somebody. But I think adding the dimension of being able to see you and or hear you I mean, takes that way above most of the texts that they're going to see or read. So
yeah, do not underestimate the power of a personal text. I'll tell you, when I got on my birthday, there's this lady every year that she'd send me a audio, like through Messenger, like, "Hey Kelly, I hope you have a super great day. Just thinking about you on your birthday. And honestly, I hope it's the best day ever." Like, okay, I was just like, wow. Like, and I was even, here I'm in the business of doing this. And I was like, wow, like she took the time to do that, right? Versus, okay, it's very generic and whatever. And it seems like you've just automated this, right? Take the time. And you guys, even, I know we're kind of digressing off of client events, but these are just those personal touches that we're talking about. You go through Facebook every morning, you see 10 people, it's their birthdays. How hard is it to go, "Hey, Bob, have a great day. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Hey, Eric, have a great day." I mean, it takes you 5 seconds, right? Just think about being personal. So, okay.
And
awesome.
real quick, just sorry, I know we're almost done, but just to go off what you were saying earlier about a top 10, even having like a top 50 that you can kind of just like keep that list. And sometimes it changes, but just keep it up to date. And then every week, reach out to 5 of them or reach out to a couple and just say, just whatever it is. Maybe I was in your neighborhood, thought of you, or would you like to get coffee, or, send them a note or something. You can keep it interesting for yourself and mix it up, and just remember to keep that list in front of you and just stay in touch with them throughout the year.
Yeah, there was
another easy thing.
This is a great point. There was and I know we might go over here, so sorry if you guys have to get going, but there was another mastermind, Bruce, and I don't remember who it was that said this, but I think it was Joe. He collects data on those people, right? Like, what's your favorite pizza? When you order coffee, what's your favorite coffee? What's your favorite cocktail? What's your favorite dessert? What's your favorite
Pet
donut?
names, like all that
Yeah.
stuff.
And so now you just go, hey, it's your birthday. You know what their favorite donut is. You stop on, or their favorite cookie, you stop and you get that and hand deliver it, right? We're not talking to your 300 or your 3,000 database. We're talking your top 10 to top 20 or whatever your group is. What an impact that's going to have when you drop it off at their place of business or their house or whatever, and just say, hey, you know what? I was thinking of you today. It's your birthday. I wanted to drop off your favorite cookie. They're going to be like, wow.
Right.
Or you send, right? You can even do it through DoorDash. Send them their favorite pizza. I'm sending them lunch today at work. DoorDash them their whatever. Like, wow, right? So again, what a way to make a massive impact on a short amount of people. And the other thing I wanted to say is when we did our little top 20 people dinner, it was also a time for us to be very purposeful. We stood up and typically I'm not a fan of like, this is a client appreciation, whatever. We just want to have fun. With that group, I stood up and I said, you guys are here because you are our raving fans. You have sent us business. You've used us yourself. You've referred us. And not only you're here because we want to give you a massive thank you and tell you how important that is to our business, but we really need you to continue doing what you're doing, right? I mean, we depend on you and we want you to know that, but we want you to know how much we love you and appreciate you, right? So I don't think, and then we're like, all right, enough of that. Let's get back to partying, right? Or whatever. But we took 2 minutes to really, really tell them they were so appreciated, but that it was so important of what they do for us, that they needed to know that. They needed to know that they are the lifeblood of what we do, right? So don't be afraid to do that in a non-salesy, hey, who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest, right? Do it in a way that you're really appreciating them for what they do. Because people want to help you succeed, right? They know you and love you. They want to help you succeed. So don't be afraid to thank them and ask them to continue doing that. Okay.
Right.
Any other parting thoughts before we head out? Awesome. Well, next week we're going to talk about teams. So if you're thinking about maybe starting a team, thinking about getting on a team, want to know more about different ways to set up teams. There's so many different ways out there. We're going to talk more about that. So hopefully you can join us next Wednesday. Otherwise, thanks again for joining us today. Thanks, Bob and Asha, for sharing your event stuff. Appreciate that. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey guys.
All right,
See ya.
take care.